Okay, so this is my vlog on my interview with a teacher. So I interviewed my teacher the other day and I asked her a few questions just to get her take on how she plans for teaching and the day-to-day life of teaching and life outside of school, and just asking her pretty much what teaching is like and what her life is like. So when I asked her what her ideas for planning came from, she said that it's mainly guided by testing. She teaches AP classes, so there's an AP framework that she has to go by, and then there's also SOL standards that she has to go by for her pre-AP classes. So she makes sure she's covering all of that, and she also gets a pacing guide for each of her classes to make sure that she is on track at the right time with what she has to be teaching, so that she stays on pace and she's not really far ahead or she doesn't fall really far behind and the SOLs come up and her students don't know what they're supposed to know, or the AP exam comes up and her students don't know what they're supposed to know. And then I asked her, which goes along well with her how she plans, but I asked her what her impact of national and state standards in her teaching were. And like she said, they kind of dictate what she does. She plans all of her lessons on the test and all of her lessons on those standards so that her kids will be prepared for the AP exams and for the SOLs. And everything's pretty much based on whether or not the kids can pass the test. And she said that's unfortunate, but it's the way that it is. And she said right now that's currently pretty much what drives education, is having these standards and making sure that all teachers are on par with that. Also for her planning, she said that she normally does PowerPoints and then she works in an activity. She also does a lot of projects throughout the semester, and she makes them write a lot of papers, especially her AP kids, to get them ready for the AP exam. With her philosophy on education, she said that she tries to make her class fun and appealing, and she doesn't want students dreading her class every day, so she tries to appeal directly to them, and she tries to make it kind of a light atmosphere, but where they're learning at the same time. And I think she does a really good job of that. The kids really enjoy her class, but you can also tell that they're learning. But as far as more philosophy on education goes, I guess she did say that, pretty much everyone can get an education now, obviously free and public education. So you can't get an education and you will get one, but she thinks it's kind of up to the teacher to provide a quality education and to make it fun and appealing to their students. I asked her what some of the stresses and strains of teaching were, and she said that standards and SOLs in general were a big stress because you have to worry about them. She also teaches AP, and that's a big stress because you have to worry about your kids passing the AP exam, and you have to make sure that you prepared them for everything that they need to know. She said that at her community in general, where she teaches, the parents cause a lot of issues. They're very involved in their kids' lives, and they like to complain a lot, and they cause a lot of unnecessary problems. Other than that, she said just the typical things of grading and having to grade essays and just the random paperwork and red tape that sometimes you have to go through. I asked her what some of the requirements and expectations were for a young teacher these days, and she's been teaching about 7 years, but she's still young, and she hasn't been out of college too long. And she said that, of course, obviously providing a quality education to the students. But she also said that it's really stressed right now that schools hire teachers that are quality citizens, as she called them. So she said that everyone should be careful about not drinking or drinking in public, or making sure there's no bad Facebook pictures of yourself or anything like that. And she said another major issue was the dress code, that you need to dress appropriately and not be skankily clad or anything like that, that you need to be professional. And I asked her what some of her discipline and behavior management strategies were, and going along earlier with her philosophy on education, she does create a light atmosphere, so she really only addresses problems when someone crosses the line and they need discipline. But she's definitely not scared to discipline them, and she will. When they cross the line, she'll give them the attention, or she'll give whatever consequences are necessary. And then finally, I just asked her in general what life was outside the classroom, and she responded with pure chaos. She has 2 small girls. One is about, I think she's 2.5, and the other little girl is about 5 months. So outside of school, she's running around taking care of her kids, taking care of her home and her family, and grading papers and preparing for school. But all in all, this was a good experience. It was nice to see what she said. I spent a lot of time with her, so I knew kind of a lot of the answers that she was going to provide. But it was good to sit down and have a discussion with her about it.